What is going on, guys? This is KOJOFOREX, aka GBP Emperor, aka Emperor of Blues. I'm back on your screens again, guys. As you may know, I'm currently in Dubai, the UAE, and then I just came for a short business meeting, but I decided to stay a little longer because I definitely can, right? I mean, as a trader, you can't afford to, stay in one place forever. As far as you can work anywhere in this world, all you got to do is take your laptop or your computer and then off you go. Right, so now in today's video, I want to tell you guys about why I am going back to scalping and then day trading, right? So you guys may not have known me to be a swing trader. Almost all my YouTube videos, I talk about swing trading, looking at the higher time frame, the 4-hour time frame, 2-hour, daily, weekly, and so on and so forth. But quite recently, I've been really giving so much attention to the lower time frame, like the 15-minute, the 1-hour, 30-minute, and so on and so forth, right? Now, somebody may be wondering, why is it that KOJO, you're all of a sudden going back to the lower time frames, right? So if you do not know, I'm supposed to make you aware that market has various conditions, right? There are certain times where the market will trend extremely well, and then there are certain times where the market literally just dies out, right? Now, you should know, if you don't know as a trader also, as by the fact that fundamentals really determine how volumes comes in on the market, right? So during certain periods in the market or during certain periods in time where there isn't so much fundamentals going on, no interest rate announcement, no major cyclical events happening, then the market can be extremely dry. In those kind of movements, right, if you're a swing trader, it can be the most boring of moves, or it can be the most boring of period as a trader, right? Now, why is it going to be boring? Because you're literally waiting for your usual swing trading moves, which is going to make you catch that 100 pips, that 150 pips, that 200 pips, and then all you're getting is that 20 pips, 30 pips move, and then the market decides to go in the opposite direction. The market can sometimes literally range for a whole long period, and you may think that something is really wrong with your strategy. It can get so frustrating that most traders tend to even give up on the market, right? But when you come into realities with the terms of conditions of what the market is doing, then it suppresses that frustration and then makes you understand where you're heading towards, right? So because I have already told you guys that I started my orientation as a trader from the scalper, day trader, and then evolving into a swing trader, I'm able to usually fit in any market conditions, whether swing trading, whether scalping, whether day trading, whether ranging market. I'm able to always just fit into the market condition. All I have to do is just revisit my strategy, do a little bit of back test, and then just get back right on, right? So yeah, one thing also that I should tell you when it comes to market condition is that when you come to the big players, the institutional traders, those that manage huge funds, the hedge funds, the big corporation, the banks, there are certain period in time where they all just would take time off the market, right? Especially when it gets to the summer periods, right? Because they've been working from January, February, March. When it's all around just July, August, September, during those summer holidays, they do not actively trade on the market. They want to, go out with their family for family vacations and holidays. Now, the resulting effect is that those people that are going to be using huge funds to move the market are not really sitting by their desk. So guess what? The market is not really going to be doing much, right? Now, these are not literally like well-informed decisions, or these are not like out there information that everybody's going to tell you, look, the big guys are not by their desk, so you're not going to be expecting huge moves on the market unless you have like a little bit of like that lean towards these big players or institutional traders, and you're going to get certain type of these informations, right? So what I intend to do with you guys today is to just revisit my 15-minute, 1-hour perspective of the market, and then we see how we can develop a consistent trade strategy from there, while we wait for the swing move to eventually come back on the market. Then we resume our 4-hour, 2-hour setup and catch those huge movement. But in the meantime, rather than waste our time sitting by the chart and then catching that 40 pips, expecting it to go to 100 pips and literally reversing on us, would be better at maintaining our take profit at 40, 30 pips, and then squeezing out that little bit of profit from the market, so that in the due time when the market comes back into its normalcy, then we can go back to our strategy. So without wasting much time, I'm going to flip into the chart, and then we see what perspective we can do from that 15-minute, 1-hour time frame, and then a trade strategy that we could be making. Yeah, guys, so as you may be aware, I've already explained to you that when it comes to the chart now, the market is basically just sleeping, right? Once in a while, you have just one huge move that pushes the market into a particular direction, then the rest of the period is just a ranging market. This is currently me watching Euro GBP. You can see that for the whole of this week, Euro GBP has just been stuck in this particular range, right? So it means that if you're a swing trader and you're looking for a particular move in this market, you're literally going to be frustrated because it's going to, guess what, go up, come down, and then go back up again. You're not really going to be able to fully materialize or capture huge moves on this market, right? So in this type of a move, you may be thinking that this market is not giving me an opportunity because you're used to like watching higher time frame, the daily, the 4-hour, the 2-hour time frame. But the moment you switch the same market condition to a time frame like the 1 hour time frame, then perspective begin to even be extremely different, right? Now you realize that the left side I have my 4 hour, then the right side I have my 1 hour, just the way TradingView allows us as traders to be able to look at the market. Let's do a little bit of back test from, let's say, this period in the market, right? Now from this period in the market, you may clearly observe that here then we've established the lows in the market, right? Which I will then also use this line here to determine it on the 4 hour time frame, right? So here, the very moment we are in the market is just this place, right? Now, so on the 1 hour, let me just change this one to thinner line. So on the 1 hour, let's see how the market eventually plays out, in a situation like this. Trading downwards, tapping into the lows again, rejecting in those lows, and then leaving a very beautiful rejection within this area right here, as you guys can see it, right? So here at this very region, right, we have certain reversal pattern that give us entry indication. Now somebody may think, Kojo, on your perspective of support resistance, you told us that anytime the market breaks a particular region, if it closes beneath it, then it invalidates the setup, right? So here, looking at the 1 hour perspective, this setup should have been invalidated. But the unique thing is that the moment you're watching this same thing on the 4 hour, then you can see that the only thing it did here was just to leave this wick print, right? So you can clearly see that when I zoom in here, you can see that the market still left that wick print here, and then it was not necessarily a body, right? So that is why we say what the higher time frame paints a perfect picture of the market usually than the lower time frame, because on the lower time frame you're thinking you missed the move because the market closed lower, but when you watch it on the higher time frame, it's just a wick print that has been left there, right? So in my perspective, if I'm still trading on a lower time frame, let's say lower than my usual 4 hour, and I'm using the 50-minute or 1 hour, and I find a very beautiful setup like this one still do qualify as a very legit setup for me to take on this trade. Now if I'm supposed to jump in on this trade, what will be interesting is that I'll be risking very small because I'm using a relatively lower time frame. It does not allow me to use bigger candlestick confirmations like the 4 hour candlesticks and then so on. That will increase my risk potential. So here you can see that on the very regular you can risk even as little as 10 pips, right? Even if you want to be very conservative, then you can extend it to 15 pips, right? But if you still really want to maintain that reasonable tight stops, then 10 pips is just perfect, right? Because that's how it still look like. And then you can target this place to be your take profit level, which is the next immediate highs here, right? So with a beautiful setup like this, while we are just watching it on the 1 hour, right, let's just see how the market eventually takes off from a beautiful setup like this, if we're supposed to maintain that 1 hour perspective, or day trading, or perhaps like a scalping strategy in this same manner. So there you have it, take profit easily smashed, right? You can clearly see that this market moved up, and then we had as much as what 39 to almost a 40 pips, which literally makes our setup 1:3. So if you risk 1%, then you're literally getting 3%. If you risk 2%, then you're literally getting 6%, right? So yeah, I've seen quite a number of setups like this in the same time zones, which is the 1 hour, and then it's been something that I'm particularly taking key note of, and then would be literally looking into making it my interim time frame to be trading on the market. So I just wanted to share it with you guys. You have the perspective that I have. I'm just going to be applying the same concept that I've been doing, my trend line, my Fibonacci, every kind of a concept that you guys have ever learned from me, right? So if you look here, then you can clearly see that what we have the same trend line perspective, the first touch, second touch, the third touch, and then guess what? We have a very beautiful market movement around this area. So here we have the first, second, and then guess what, coming into the third one, act as if it was breaking this region, goes back up, rejects perfectly, and then we have a very beautiful move, right? So yeah, the reason why I've just not been so much big on this quite recently is because of the fact that any move as a trader, when you backtest any move, or when you're trying to switch a time frame or switch, you need to have a little bit of patience, do your due diligence, have so much confidence in it, and then when you're extremely comfortable with it, then you can make it something that you can use for the considerable long period of time, and not necessarily switch on this the next minute then you're back onto something else. It messes your psychology up, and that's why most people actually take a lot of losses on the market. Why? Because they're going to use a 1 hour time frame. They get comfortable with it a little bit, let's say 2 weeks, and the moment they get a little bit of a losses, then they want to quickly switch to something old they were doing. Let's go back to the 15-minute or 5-minute. They get a loss there, let's go back to the 4 hour. It messes your psychology, your processes up, and you're never going to be consistent, right? So yeah, I hope this short video gives you a good perspective of the new journey that I'm trying to jump on. If you love this video, make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to this channel if you haven't done already, connect with me on all social media at KOJOFOREX, especially on Instagram. I do usually Instagram live videos that we can always learn and then continue our lessons from, right? So without wasting my time, also make sure to click in the link in the description to join the KOJOFOREX Telegram community. I do share a whole lot of trade signals in the community for the community members to make profit for free at totally no fee at all, right? You want to really get in big on that. Without wasting much time, I hope you guys really love this video. Don't forget, like I said, to smash the like button so that others get to watch this video, and then subscribe to this channel so that we keep growing as we have already been doing, right? So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.